he kind of gets locked into an almost every other day type schedule, and just how does his kind of routine and preparation built for that?
I have no idea. I mean, the story that I've told is one of the first days I was with the team, and it was early in the regular season, and I'm walking out and he's doing some sort of Olympic lifting after the morning skate, and I just froze. Like, I didn't tell him he was playing. I just assumed that he knew he was playing, and I didn't think the goalie coach knew. We didn't tell the man he's playing tonight. He's out. That's his routine. So I stay as far away from that, clearly, as I can. I don't think Bob's routine is built over his entire career, modifies it, changes it as it goes, but there's not a big shift in what he does.
Left side, second row.
Paul, how good was it to get Evan back for Game 7, and how did he look to you?
Yeah, he was right on and fine. I think, in truth, I was probably overly cautious in Game 6. He said he was right and ready to play. I really had liked the way Jesper Bohlqvist had played in that situation. I thought, and I liked the way that he played in Game 6 as well. But I just didn't want any unknowns on the bench with a player. So that was kind of a coach's call. So once that game was over and we were going to Game 7, there wasn't any question of whether he was playing or not. He felt he was ready for Game 6.
Right side, third row.
Paul, you had a couple of guys that didn't skate this morning.
Right.
Any of them at risk of not playing tonight?
No, they're all at 100%. So we've been doing this on all of our. We play every second night. We got guys that just don't morning skate, and we're fine with that. It's really, they're really at the point that players are driving kind of all that, whether they're practicing or not. That's the numbers up on the board, and away we go.
Right side, second row.
Hey, Paul. I was speaking with Nate Schmidt before about being one of the guys on the roster that doesn't have a ring yet. And he said when you're on this team and you play in the playoffs, because there are so many guys now that have one that are on the roster, it's just sort of like you just follow what they're doing. And I was wondering, from your perspective, to have that proof of concept for players that come to the team, how much easier does that life become?
I think the emotional swings are less. So I don't worry about checking on these guys to make sure they're not getting too high. And I thought the most important part of my job would be handling the first loss. That would be the toughest. So we lost Game 3 to Tampa. And how we handled that next day would set up all of how we would handle the rest of the losses going forward. My experience with this group this year is I'm less concerned about it. They've just been through it. So clearly we had some tough losses toward the end of that season last year. So we all have experience in hey, I haven't slept for 3 days because of that last loss. So I think that there's a narrower band of emotions for our team.
Up front.
Paul, with Seth, he obviously comes in at the deadline. How is he's played with a couple different pairings. Like, just how has he kind of meshed himself with the team and specifically on the ice?
Yeah, it was probably a blessing in disguise because we had Aaron Ekblad was out of the lineup, and then we just had some injuries that he had to play with just about everybody, and he had to have a completely different systems that he's played before, different style of play. We wanted to kind of monitor his minutes, and I think we played him like 29 minutes. We were just, I had actually played him. He played the last game of the year, and I had him out. We just had another injury come in that night, so he played a ton of hockey. And now he's been able to get with a set partner. And the game actually simplifies in the playoffs more than it expands. Teams get to the bare bones of what they do, and they just do it over and over again. So he's getting cleaner reps and reads on the way up the ice, and I think that's helped him an awful lot.
Right side in the back.
Hey, Paul. I was also speaking with Nate Schmidt this morning. He talked about how the team that gets the puck to the forwards the fastest in this series is the one that's going to prevail. Knowing the pressure they bring on the first wave and the pressure they build down the boards with their defense, how do you convince your guys to avoid falling into the trap of always wanting to go tape to tape and get that fluidity going up the ice?
So you have two teams that I would say, from a defensive point of view, have identical philosophies, right? It's all about gap. It's applied differently, and that's personnel-based, right? We have a different in general, our players are maybe built differently than their players are built. But the philosophy is the same. Both teams, we've played each other enough that there's less time in this series than in other series that you would have played. So the team that makes the adjustment to that the fastest probably has the advantage early. But both teams are going to make that adjustment by the 10-minute mark of the first period, if not between the first and second period. You're going to feel it. There's just no room. So you aren't slowing the game down. The game's never going to get slowed down out there. You have to stay at or above that pace, and you're trying to drive it.
We have time for one more. Mike in the back.
Paul, can I just ask you about more about Bob and the Olympic lift? So we just witnessed it too, and I actually made the comment like if I was Paul Maurice, I'd have a heart attack seeing that. I mean, when did
it's perfect? You just don't avoid it.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Is that unique to him, or like when did that change? I assume Archer Zerbe didn't do that.
No, but very similar. Funny that you brought him up. Very, very similar in the detail of what they do. Right to Archer's fixing his own equipment, right? And wouldn't let anybody touch it, and he kept stuffing those pads. And so very, very similar in that they don't leave anything to anybody else for their preparation. It works for him. Clearly a much better shape than I am, so I don't think I should judge him. I'm not in a position to critique his fitness routine.
Thanks for your time,
Okay.
Coach.
Game, and it's usually one goal game, tight defensive, good gaps. They have really good sticks, and it's going to be finding that little bit of space, getting in front of the net, and trying to shoot pucks with some traffic and make it hard for them.
Left side, second row.
Yeah, for both of you guys, you both have been here for a while now. We talked so much about the culture in the room and how you guys are able to bring when you guys come in, just how quickly they're able to get acclimated. What is it about the way that you guys operate inside that room that is able to make whoever comes in feel like part of the team right away? How are you guys able to do that as efficiently as you guys have?
Yeah, I mean, it's just keep it light. I think everybody welcomes everybody in, and being kind and friendly, obviously, and it's just a tight crew, but overall, so it makes it easier.
Yeah, I think it's whenever we have a really good group here and or a lot of great leaders, and when guys come in, they're welcomed with open arms and know they can help, and we trust that they can help the team. And I mean, everyone's such a great guy here that it makes it so easy. So,
Questions? Right side up front.
Lucy, I know it was a long time ago you were here, but I feel like the Hurricanes were kind of already the Hurricanes back then. As someone that's been on both sides, what sort of similarities do you see just in the cultures and the identities of these two teams? Obviously very similar in style.
I think the play style, everybody competes hard, both teams, and there's a grit on the game, and I think that's the thing that comes to mind first.
Up front.
For either of you guys, just how difficult is it to go from like the emotion and the intensity of a Game 7, where everything's on the line, to then kind of locking back in for what could be another long series and just kind of getting back in the groove of a series?
I think it's kind of nice when you get only one day off in between. I think you're kind of still in that do or die mindset, and I think that's kind of what the playoffs is kind of all about, and it keeps you in it. And it was a very emotional series and playing a Game 7, and but coming here, I think we just turned the page, just like whether it was going from Game 6 to Game 7, we just turned the page, and it's a new game, a new day, and just kind of try and stay in the moment.
Third row on the right.
Etu, I was wondering, like looking at the rosters of the 4 teams remaining, there's 13 Finnish players, which is a striking number. I'm wondering if you take notice of it, and what thoughts come to mind? Is that just a special year for Finnish hockey?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see so many Finns getting so far, and I think playing key roles in their teams, playing high minutes, and I think it's just the work they put in Finland, from juniors to all the way to the top level. It's top notch, and I think we're doing a good job there.
Stay on the right.
Carter, we talked a lot about the impact Lucy's line has had with Lundy and Maurice. Just how much has what that line's been doing been helping your line and the other 3 lines on this team the last couple series?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the way our team's built. It's such a team effort. Their line has been unbelievable all playoffs, scoring big goals. They're playing tough minutes, playing against their best players, and I mean it's so nice to see. Like, it takes pressure off everyone else in the goal scoring department and everything like that. And we love our Finns here, so that's all I can say.
Any more questions for Carter and E2? No more questions. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Sure, obviously last year you were a part of this team, but a scratch for most of those games in the playoffs. Just what was it like, making such an impact last series and also just having a goal there in Game 7, just kind of full circle from last year to this year?
Yeah, no, for sure. Obviously, I was around last year, and I was just watching what the guys were doing, and trying to learn from them, even though I wasn't in the lineup. And I tried to, I guess, carry my experience over this year. And my goal and focus was to just stay ready. And I knew that if I was called on to get in the lineup, that I'd be ready. And I just been having fun with it. There's obviously a lot of stresses and anxieties that come along with playing in the NHL, but I'm just trying to have fun and check those aside and just enjoy what I'm doing.
Jonah, sort of the piggyback off that, just mentally, how tough is it to stay ready when, like you said, last year you went the whole time through, this year you started that way? Just mentally, how were you able to push through and make sure you were ready when your name was called?
I just think, I love all the guys in this group, and, you just have to check your ego aside. Obviously I wanted to play the whole time, every game, but like I said, if I were to get called on and I wasn't ready, that's on me. The coaches have all done such a great job, and all the other guys that weren't playing, we push each other in the gym, we push each other on the ice so that we stay ready and stay mentally sharp. And we're treated just like any other guy that's in the lineup, even though we weren't in the lineup. So it's such a tight group from top to bottom, and we have a lot of fun doing what we do.
Right side.
Jonah, how does it feel to be able to just come right into a new series here? Not much time to sit and think about the last one. You just roll right into a new one here, and what's it going to take, big picture, against this Carolina team?
Yeah, it's definitely crazy. Quick turnaround for sure. But obviously everything from that last series, we just have to kind of check at the door and on to the next one. And obviously they're such a good team over there. So we just have to focus on our game like we always do, and that's all we can do.
Left side, second row.
And just with your line overall, just what do you like about what you, Greer, and Nosek have brought to the game since you guys drew in, and just what do you feel like you guys have brought to the group?
We try to keep it simple out there, try to crash and bang. We have fun. Like, that's all I can say really, is that that's the biggest thing, is that we know what's expected of us. We know how we have to play. We know our role. So now we can just go out and play it and enjoy what we do.
Up front.
What do you think it says about the team that it seems like there's a lot of interchangeable parts, I guess, like, you guys can come in, fill in, play well immediately. Jesper can move up to the first line and get a goal. Like, I just want to say that, there's so many players on this team who can contribute, at like the drop of a hat. Yeah,
I think that, that's just the depth of being on a good team. Also just, I think that, mental side of it and the physical side of staying ready when you're called on. I think that everyone has done a good job of that, and everyone is ready to step up when needed for the group.
Jonah, going back to last series, Paul said when you guys got back in the lineup, you kind of felt that was the turning point, because you guys kind of are the identity line for this team. Starting a new series here, they're Eastern Conference Final, obviously. There's lots of stars on this team, but the fourth line in particular, do you guys feel kind of a responsibility to kind of set a certain tone out there in Game 1?
Well, like I said, I think that we know what's expected of us. We're not going to try to do anything else other than that. We're going to play within our systems, play our roles, and have fun while we do it. And I think in playoffs, that's all you can do, is you just have to enjoy every step of the way.
This matchup here, two teams that play a really disciplined style, high pressure style. What's it going to take against the Canes? What do you think the biggest keys might be in this series coming up?
Yeah, they play a hard nose in your face kind of game, and it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be cute. It's going to be, puck battles and net front and all the little things, and and hopefully we'll add up to some goals and some wins.
Do you guys like the idea of being able to roll right into this, keeping with the every other day, coming in right off a big Game 7 win?
Yeah, I mean, it's, yeah, I guess it keeps things fresh. You don't get that time to really relax and take your foot off the gas. It's just kind of feels like kind of one long series a little bit, and I think we'll be ready to go.
For yourself, just how are you personally feeling? And was there anything that was going to keep you out of that Game 7 in Toronto?
No, I don't think so. It was nice being back in there and, help contributing to a win. It obviously sucks when you're not able to play. So, yeah, it was nice to get back out there and finish off that series.
Every team's got a real good shutdown pair, especially when there's only 4 teams left with that Burns-Slavin pairing. So what's the challenge, particularly when they're out there generating offense?
Yeah, just try to get on and make them defend, right? Obviously, 2 really good defenders. Slavin's got an elite stick, and he knocks down a lot of pucks. So it's just not trying to be cute with him, not trying to, try him too often, just kind of make him go back for pucks and, hopefully wear him down.
And we talk so much about the culture in the room and how when you guys come in, you guys are able to instantly make guys feel comfortable. When you got here last year, what was that experience like for you, and how was it that you were able to get so ingratiated into the group?
Yeah, it's obviously a welcoming group and, a very mature group. I think the biggest thing is you don't really have a choice. You either conform or you don't really, you got to fit the group, right? You got to play the way they play, and if you don't, it doesn't work. So, everyone's very welcoming, everyone's very friendly, and it's a fun group to be around. And I think when guys come in, they find that very easily.
Ed, what did you think of the press conference workout area set up here in the arena?
Yeah, it was unique to say the least. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who thought of that, but move on from there.